Okay, students. So, welcome to today's class. In today's class, we are going to discuss another block cipher technique, and this one is a very popular technique known as advanced encryption standard. In the earlier class, we have studied data encryption standard, right? And that algorithm was also very popular one. But after that, this algorithm has raised the standard. So, after DES, several people have started attacking DES, and after some time, they found that DES can also be break. So there were several loopholes which were there in DES. So people have exploited those loopholes. For example, in several S box designing, people have found out that these are the repeated entries, or these are the entries which can be used to find out the key out of the ciphertext. So there were several things, and because of that, DES uh, DS was not that much popular in the current situation. And from 2001 onwards, the people came to know about one more standard, which is AES, and this has offered the more security mechanism as compared to DS. So let us see what exactly is there in AES. So first, again, AES is a symmetric key block cipher technique, and this one has been published as a standard in 2001 by NIST. So again, when this particular algorithm came into picture, it has come as a result of one of the competition. So the peoples who have formed a security group across the world, they have uh, called a competition, and in that competition, three criteria were put up at the front of all the people, and those three criteria were security, cost, and the implementation. Okay, so whoever is proposing any algorithm, they must have to ensure that their algorithm is secure enough. Then they have to ensure that it is cost effective, and they have to also ensure that it is very much easy to implement. So based upon these three criteria, several algorithms were proposed, and then one of the algorithm have been selected, and that algorithm has been treated as a advanced description standard. Okay, and it has been awarded as a standard in 2001 by NIST. So if we talk about the AES, then AES is a non-physical cipher structure. Okay, and when we were seeing DES, that was based upon your physical cipher structure, but this one is your non-physical cipher. Okay, this point you have to remember. And it can encrypt or decrypt a data block of 128 bits. So initially when it was proposed for the encryption of this block size. Okay, but earlier several versions have come for AES where it can encrypt a larger block size. Apart from that, it generally uses three number of rounds, and that are 10, 12, or 14. Or you can say that it comes in three variants, where in the first variant 10 number of rounds are there, in the second variant 12 number of rounds are there, and in the third variant 14 number of rounds are there. Apart from these different rounds, the key size also differ from round to round. For example, if you go by 10 number of rounds, then 128 bit key size is going to be used. If you are going for 12 number of rounds, then 192 key bits are going to be used. For 14, 256 bits key size is going to be used. So it depends that how many number of rounds or what variant of AES we are going to use. Apart from that, the important thing which one has to remember is that the round keys are always going to be of same length, which is 128 bit. Okay, so we are going to see what exactly we mean by the round keys. Okay, now this is the general design of AES encryption cipher. So we can see again some number of rounds are there. Okay, and in each and every round some keys are being supplied. For example, key 0, K1, K2, and K and R, which is somewhat different than the other rounds. And before commencing the first round, again some pre-round transformations is being applied. So this is a general design of AES. So we can see that the plain text is being supplied, then some pre-round transformation is being done, then number of rounds are being applied. So after the last round, we are getting the cipher text. Okay, or you can say we are getting the encrypted text. And in each round, a separate key is being provided. Okay, so this is the general design. Before moving further, let us see how exactly we treat the data in AES design. So first we need to understand how we convert our data into a state, because the overall AES algorithm works upon state. So first we need to convert our data in the form of a state. So at the core level, as we know, a byte is consist of 8 bits, right? So these are the plain font, and this one is a bold font. So bold font means you are talking about a byte. So okay, and a simple font means you are talking about a bit. So B0 is a bit, while a capital, this B is a byte. And this can be represented either in a row vector or in a column vector. Okay, so two types of representations can be used. And thereafter, if we try to represent the bytes in the form of a word, then 4 bytes collectively represent a word. Okay, so you can say a word is consist of 4 bytes. So again, it can be either represented in a row vector or in a column vector. Okay, then if you talk about a block, then a block is going to consist of 16 bytes. Okay, these are the bytes. And in order to convert it in a state, you need to arrange them in a column wise fashion. Okay, so either you can arrange this way or either you can arrange this way. Okay, so ultimately you can say that in a state there are going to be 4 words in total. Okay, so either they can be written in a column fashion or in a row fashion. Okay, so a state is going to have 4 words in total. Okay, so you can consider that this one is a word. Okay, and again this one is a word. So that way in total 4 words are going to be there. So this transformation can be done by making a formula. Okay, so the formula has been made. With that you can convert the blocks into the state and state into the blocks. Okay, so it depends that how exactly you are going to perform the insertion and exertion flow. Fine. So the thing which we have to remember, that whatever data we have got, first we need to convert that data in the form of a state. Now so whatever text we are going to have, we are going to convert that text into the hexadecimal equivalent. Okay, so this is our text which we need to encrypt, and then first we are going to convert this text into the hexadecimal equivalent. Okay, so each entry is going to consist 2 hexadecimal bytes. So after having these hexadecimal bytes, this has been converted in the form of a state. So this is our data. We can say 128-bit data. Okay, now we have to see how the process of encryption and decryption is going to perform on this data. Okay, so as you know, whatever data we have got, first we need to convert the data into number of blocks, and then after converting in the equivalent blocks, we need to convert into the hexadecimal equivalent, and then we are going to convert in the form of a state, or we are going to write it in the form of a state. Okay, this is the general structure of each round at all the encryption side. Okay, as we have seen that number of rounds are going to be there in AES, and this is the detailing of one of the round. Okay, so one state or whatever data we have got, we are going to convert that data in the form of a state, or we are going to write the data in the form of a state. Then it goes through number of operations, and those operations are byte substitution, shift rows, mix column, and add round key. Okay, so the moment you apply one transformation, then that transformation will provide you the another state. Okay, and the moment it goes to the another transformation, again you are going to get another state, okay, as an output, and the process goes on till the last transformation. Okay, so the four transformations or the four basic operations which we are going to use in each and every round are byte substitution, shift rows, mix column, and add round key. So we are going to see the detailing of each and every transformations in detail. Okay, is that clear, students? Nilesh, Rajkumar, are you there? Nilesh, Rajkumar, Sunanda, Srijan,
Yes, sir.
समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ सर. Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us see the first transformation, which is your byte substitution. So in AES, like DS, again we are going to use the process of substitution. So in AES, it uses two invertible transformations. Invertible means if we are applying it, then the reverse process is also possible. Okay, to get back the things back. So let us see. Yeah. So this is how your byte substitution transformation looks like. So this was our original state. Then each and every entry is consist of the 2-byte hexadecimal value, right? And these two hexadecimal bytes are going to serve as an address to this table. And this table will be a standard table and will be given initially. Okay, so this predefined table is going to provide you or is going to give you another entry, and that entry is going to replace the original one. Okay, for example, if you are working currently on this particular hexadecimal byte, then these hexadecimal bytes are going to give you the column number and the row number. So the corresponding entry will be picked, and that corresponding entry will replace the original entry. Okay, so this is how the byte substitution transformation is going to work. Okay, so this is a standard byte substitution table which will already be there in AES algorithm. Okay, so this is the first one, and this is the inverse byte substitution table. So this particular operation is invertible. So if you perform the byte substitution, then you are going to get this state, and when you perform the same inverse operation, then you are going to get back your original state back. Okay, so this is the detailed representation of byte substitution and inverse byte substitution process. And then the second operation is, or the second transformation is shift rows. And in this particular operation, again one state will be there. So let us consider this is your row 0, row 1, row 2, and row 3. So no shift will be performed, no circular shift will be performed. Okay, no left circular shift will perform in the 0th row, and 1 byte left shift will be performed in the first row, and in the second row 2 byte left circular shift operation will be performed, and in the third row 3 byte left shift circular shift operation will be done. So this is what is going to happen in this shift rows operation. Okay, so here the highlighted text, you can say that these have been rotated. Okay, so you can see this 82 now has come over here. Fine. Now there comes the third transformation, which is mixed column transformation. So in this particular transformation, we operate on a column at a time. Okay, so let's say this is a state, then we pick one of the column, and then this column is going to multiply with a standard constant matrix, and the result is going to be a single column vector again, and that column is going to replace the original column, okay, which has been used for the operations. So this is the process of your mixed column transformation. And again, this one is also invertible. So the moment we talk about any encryption algorithm, then we have to make sure that its inverse operation is there. Otherwise, we are not going to decrypt our data. So now the last transformation is your add round key. And in this particular, again, we are going to take, or we are going to operate on column to column basis. Okay, so again, one of the column is picked, and this is being XORed with the round keys, and then the result will replace the original column entry. Okay, so this is your add round key transformation. So far we have seen all the transformations. Okay, and if we talk about the characteristics, so again, these are the three basic characteristics of AES, which is it provides ample amount of security, it is easy to implement, and it is yet simple and cost effective. So these are the basic three things regarding AES. And it is very much capable of defending against all the attacks which have been tested against the AES, against the DES. Okay. So all the attacks have been tested, and it has been found that it is working very well against all the attacks, and these are the very famous and very recent type of attacks. So you can say very severe attacks. Okay, so if any algorithm is working well against the differential and linear attacks, then you can say that particular algorithm is good. Okay, and apart from that, as discussed, it is very easy to implement in software, in hardware, or on any other firmware. Okay. So let us see the process of AES with the help of an animation. Okay, is the screen visible, students?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So this is how a typical encryptor or typical encryption process looks like, where we do supply some plain text and cipher key as an input, and then we get the cipher text as the output. Okay, so this is the encrypted text. Then, as we know, first we need to convert our data in the form of a state. So in this state, each and every entry is a hexadecimal byte. Okay, so this is how you can see, this is the data, and these are the hexadecimal equivalent byte. Okay, so this is 3 and this is 2. So this is how this particular entry has been formed. Okay, so first we need to convert our data into number of blocks. Okay, then each and entry is going to be written in this state like this way. Okay, now let us see what is the encryption schedule. So this is how the general structure, general encryption process of AES looks like. So first, as we see that the initial round keys or initial transformation is going to be applied, or pre-round transformations is going to be applied. Then it goes through the number of rounds. Then in the last round, one of the key transformation is missing. You can see that this is the last round, and in this last round, mixed column operations is missing. Okay, so in the 10th round, only 3 transformations are going to be applied. So let us see what happens in these rounds. Okay, so again, this particular state will be having a pre-round transformation, which is add round key. So whatever key we have got, that key is being XORed with the state, and then the output is going to be going through the 9 number of rounds, and in each and every round these 4 transformations are going to be there. Okay, so let's see once again. So all these 4 operations are going to perform for the 9 number of rounds, and in the last round only 3 transformations are going to be applied. So at the end, whatever ciphertext you have got, that is going to be your ciphertext, which is going to be sent to the other party. Okay. Now let us see the details of each and every transformations. So as I told you, a standard byte substitution table will be provided or will be there in AES, and one of the entry from the state will be picked, and that entry will provide you the address to the S box. Okay, for example, this 1 is going to be the row number, and this 9 is going to be the column number. Okay, so this way one of the entry will be picked, or one entry will be picked, or the corresponding entry will be picked, and this entry will replace the original one. Okay, like this. So this is how the byte substitution transformation is being done. Fine. Then the second transformation was your shift rows. So the first row is called as a 0th row, and this one is called as a first, and this one is a second, and this one is a third. So the indexing is started from the 0. Okay. So the first row is going to be rotated over 1 byte like this, and the second row is going to be rotated by the 2 bytes like this, and then the third row is going to be rotated by 3 bytes in this circular fashion. Okay, so this is a quite simple operation, and this one is known as a shift rows operation. Okay, and then comes the third transformation or the third operation called as a mixed column operation. Okay, and in this operation we perform the operation on a column at a time. Okay, so one column will be picked, and one standard matrix will be there already in AES algorithm, and then this column will be multiplied with this matrix, and then it is going to provide you the another column, and that column will replace the original one. Okay, so this is what happens in the mixed column operation. And then the add round key. Okay, so this is the input state, and then the round key will be supplied, and then again the operation is going to be applied or going to be performed on a column at a time. Okay, so the one column from this table picked, and the one column from the round key, or the corresponding column from the round key will be picked, and then the XOR operation will be performed. Okay, so the result is going to replace the original column from the input state. Okay, so this is how your add round key transformation happens. So this is how the state looks like after each and every transformation. Okay, these are the detailing for each and every round. Even you can go through it. Okay, you can exercise it. So as we know that in the last round, the mixed column operation is missing. So this is how the things will look like after each and every round. Okay, so these are the detailing of the state, input state and the output state. Now let us see the key schedule. Okay, as we know that in each and every round are different keys being used. So originally we are going to have a single key, and then that single key is being goes through the number of operations to get or to provide a different key to the next round. Okay, so let us see. This was the initial round key. Okay, and then from this initial round key, one last column has been picked. Okay, we call it the root word, and then again one R conventional matrix will be given. This is going to be a fixed matrix. This will already be given, or you can consider it as a standard one. Okay, then after picking this one, a lower circular shift byte shift has been performed. Okay, then again one byte substitution table will be there, and from that byte substitution table all the entries will be replaced, and thereafter one column, the first column, and one column from the RCon matrix will be picked, and then the XOR of these three will be done to get an entry, and that entry will be the first entry for the next round state. Okay, next key. So this is the first one, and then this will be used along with the second entry, and then these two will be XORed, and the result will be the second column for the next schedule key. Okay, and the same process will go on for the third one and for the last column. Okay, so the most of the headache is there for the first column entry, and the moment we get the first column, then the rest of the three columns are being calculated easily. Okay, like this. Okay, so a state will be formed. For example, in case of this last column, this will form a state. So this is going to be first entry, and this is going to be the last entry, and then these two together will be XORed to get the final entry, final column entry. Okay, and a complete state has been formed, right? So for the next round, in order to get the first entry, again that typical process will be continued. And let us see what was that once again. So let us say one entry has been picked, then one circular shift, one down circular shift will be performed. Okay, then this will be replaced with the help of a byte substitution table. Okay, so like this, all the entries will be replaced, and then the last entry from this state, sorry, the first entry of the last state along with the archon column will be XORed together to get an entry. Okay, so this will be the first entry, and then calculate the calculation of the rest of the three entries is not a typical task. Okay, so this is how the keys are being generated for each and every round in AES. And so I hope this key schedule and all the other transformations are pretty much clear to all of you. If in case there is doubt, then you can ask me. Aditi, Nishant, Avishi, any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to end today's class here only. Okay.